All right, hey guys, it's Sunday, a windy Sunday, and I'm out in the band room working on the timpani audition for this year's select band audition. And so just like the snare drum and keyboard, I'm put up some a video lesson for you guys on what you should do to prepare this piece. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through it. Grab my music here. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to show you some of the hard parts that you need to practice as you're getting ready for this. So there's a couple things I want you to see before I go through the entire piece on the next video. So first thing, I've marked, as on all of the pieces that I've worked on so far, I've marked a bunch of stuff and highlighted a bunch of stuff in the music, the important things, so that in real time, when I'm playing this, things are jumping out at me and I'm not forgetting to do things that I've practiced. So mark your music, okay? I also have my metronome here, okay? And I've set that 110 beats per minute, okay, which is right here. All right, and I've made sure that I've practiced with the metronome and done everything with the metronome, because with big drums like this, it's really easy to let tempo fluctuate, okay? Mallet choice, okay, as you get ready for this. There's a bunch of notes, okay, some pretty fast ones too. It requires an articulate mallet. So I love these mallets. I love these when I was in college too, and they're like the ultra staccato, like general run-of-the-mill Vic Firth mallet. I love these. I had friends that spent, I don't know, $80, $90 on a different pair, you know, something that was a little bit more specialized. I loved these. These felt like drumsticks to me. So I like these, and I think they'll work well for this piece. So something like that, maybe, I mean, you can choose something that's a little softer if you want, but it's a pretty articulate sound. So it's probably a good choice, okay? As you're working on this, it might be a good idea to get on a practice pad, okay? Or practice the stickings on one drum before you do multiple drums as you're working on this. Like, for instance, in the first two measures, you know, you've got right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. You know what I mean? So it might be a good idea to get on the pad and just go and make sure that every note sounds exactly the same, because more on timpani than on any other instrument, the velocity of the mallet hitting that drum head is going to change the sound. Okay, so you're going to want to make sure that you practice some of the stickings and the movements on a practice pad first, just a pair of drumsticks or a pair of timpani mallets, because then it's just going to make it that much easier when you get on the drums. Okay. Tuning and pedaling. There's no pedaling in this piece, so you're very lucky. And therefore, you should stand up. You're going to have to stand up anyway for some of the harder passages in the second half, really in the first half as well. You're not going to be able to sit and play this, so you should stand. It's just the nature of the beast, and you don't need to pedal. Okay, you set your tuning at the beginning, and then you leave it. So there's no reason to sit. Okay, the tuning is G, B flat, C, and E. Okay, it's marked at the top of the music, upper left-hand corner. Right there, okay? And as you're tuning drums, guys, that'll be part of your audition, is to get them tuned correctly. So you'll use a pitch pipe, or you can even play a note on the marimba, which would be a G, to get your starting pitch. I've gone ahead and tuned these already. So the 32, which is the largest drum, all the way on the left, here's my G. All right. A minor third, for those of you guys that are in music theory, from G is B flat, which is your second drum. Okay, and then a major second from there is C. Sounds like the first two notes of a major scale, the B flat major scale. B flat, C, and then you have a major third, C to E. All right, and this drum right now is in real bad shape because of the broken head up here. So don't focus too much on how the drums sound in this video lesson. After marching band's done, we'll get these drums sounding really nice for KMEA. So for right now, they're about as close as I can get them, being in pretty bad shape. Okay, they've fluctuated quite a bit. All right, so let me walk you through some of the hard parts of this audition. Okay, so I've written down some things that are places where you'll really want to spend some time working. Okay, in the first place that you're going to have some difficulty is the 5th and 6th measure of the audition, which is actually measure number 53 and 54. I guess they pulled this out of a longer piece. Okay, and you'll see that it's in the second line. And it's got a bunch of stickings, so very 16th note based, and even a couple 32nd notes. Okay, and the reason why this is hard is because of the sticking and the movement that's required, and how that can possibly affect the quality of your sound. Okay, so let me play those two measures kind of in slow-mo for you. I'll go about this tempo. Try it again. All right, and you can see in that second measure you've got this sticking, which real slow-mo, in real slow motion, is not all that hard, but you put that at 110, here's your 16th notes, and that passage becomes pretty challenging. Makes it even a little bit trickier is when you put it in context with the measures before it, it sneaks up on you a little bit. So you got to practice that a lot. That might be one of those places that you practice it just on the pad. All right, just on a practice pad and work on that sticking and making sure everything sounds great. Okay, all those notes have to speak evenly. Okay, so that's the first hard place, okay? All right, now next, measure 60 and 61. If you're practicing this part and you're in the drum line, we've been playing quintuplets all fall long, okay? So you shouldn't have too much trouble, but measure 60 has quintuplets, and then measure 61 has sextuplets, okay? And you just need to make sure that that passage sounds very even, okay? Even starting 2 measures before that on the triplets, right? All those notes have to speak evenly, so make sure you get good bite on the head and get everything to speak really, really well. Okay, if it sounds really legato and the notes, the articulation of the notes doesn't speak, your judges aren't going to think that you've really mastered that part. Okay, so you need to make sure that you get all those notes to speak. All right, then you have your quintuplets, university, university, and then 2 sextuplets. Okay. All right, you got to make sure that you're working on that. So we'll put those 4 measures together for you. All right, and the release is actually on the 32. I realize that you guys can't see that. One more time. And every note's got to speak really evenly, okay? So there's that. All right, next, measure 63. It's the one that's got the 30, they're not even, yeah, they're 30-second notes. 30-second notes, it's right here before the time signature change. It's this guy right here, all right? You just got to make sure that you start that rhythm on the E of beat 2 and end it on the of beat 2, okay? Land on the downbeat in the next measure and then dampen. Okay, just got to be careful for that. All right, so I'll play that measure for you. Right, that rhythm. Da da digga 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 da. Da da digga digga da da. Okay, so you're gonna have to work on that. That's another place to put this on a practice pad. Okay. And then you got to get that movement, right? You're on the 32, and then you got to jump up to 26 with a dampen, with a mute, okay, afterward. All right? All right, so that's a challenging place there as well. All right, let's skip all the way down to Well, no, let's not do that yet. I was gonna skip, but we need to start. Look at measure 64. Where we just stopped. Okay. I've heard this piece audition before, and I've heard kids come in and do this. And they've dampened every note, right, in between notes, and that's not the right thing to do here, okay? It doesn't indicate to do that, all right? So what I would do is I would not dampen in between notes, only dampen on the quarter rests in between phrases, okay? So this is how I would play measure 64. Then dampen. 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 Okay? Only dampen on the quarter rests. And keep in mind, when you dampen, I'll use this one, you want to try to make that as quiet as you possibly can. So you're going to want to practice your dampening technique, okay? Right? What I do is I hold the stick like this, and I try to use the soft parts of my finger, whatever the softest parts of your fingers happen to be. For a lot of us, it's going to be the fingertips, this part of our hand here, right? Maybe this part of our thumb right here. You don't want to hear that, okay? You want that to be as soft a sound as possible when you touch the head, okay? So I would practice your dampening there. All right, now we get to the real meat. This is measure 74 through 76 in your music. Check that out, okay? This has some pretty crazy crossovers in it, and I wrote all my stickings in. And I put X's over the notes that I'm going to be crossing over with my right hand, okay? This is a pretty challenging section here, and it's fast. So you're going to want to work on the movement, okay? And if you get low, right, if you kind of bend your knees and lower your center of gravity, it's a little bit easier to reach over from your 23-inch drum to your 32 all the way over here, okay? So when you practice, this is going to look a little weird on the camera, but your movement is going to look like this. Right? And you just have to get over how weird you might look. And, you're going to have to put a little bit of physical energy into this to get this to work. All right? So here is measure 74, 75, 76. I'll play it kind of in slow motion for you first. Okay? And I stopped at the end of that half note roll, okay? So I'm getting some crossovers, right? But then when you put that in time, okay, I'll do the pickups. Pickups is measure 74. And I already made a mistake. We'll try it again. So you really got to get low and get the movement to work for you. I'll try it again. I kind of pooped out on the end of that. So that's a phrase that I would even have to work a little harder on getting ready for my audition. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. I guess now, while I'm kind of on that, kind of in that area of the audition piece, when you set your timpani up, okay, make sure that they're not set up too close together. All right, for me, this kind of openness here is what's most appropriate because of my wingspan. I'm not a real tall guy, but because of how physical and large these drums require you to be, you want to make sure that they are set up so that the playing spots are the easiest to get to, right? If you pull the drums in real close to you, you're going to be like struggling not to hit the centers. You're going to get really tubby bad sounds, okay? If you push them out too far away, you're going to be hitting rims, okay? So make sure that you set them up correctly so that you're playing in good beating spots for timpani. If you don't know what those are, it's about 3 inches from the rim, okay? 3 to 4 inches, kind of depending on the drum and the passenger music that you're playing. All right. Finally, the last hard part is the very end where you have to diminuendo, okay? Make sure that when you diminuendo, you don't start playing with weak, mushy strokes, so to speak, okay? Because you don't want to lose your articulation and clarity, okay? So let me play the last, I'll play the last line for you, okay? All right, so there's a diminuendo and a retardando at the end. Okay, so just be really careful that you don't lose your articulation just because you're getting softer. Just still get a really nice velocity packed stroke. Just play as small as you can at the end when it's at triple piano. All right, guys. So that's the whole audition piece. Okay, the next video will be me playing the entire thing. All right. But hope some of this helps you. Now go practice.